For anyone who is listening, though, so we literally just did our latest episode yesterday.
We did.
And I said to you in that episode, within the next 6 weeks, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Within the next 6 weeks. It didn't take 6 weeks, it took 6 hours.
it really did.
What the hell happened?
All right.
Oh, and
Uh,
also, a round of applause as well, just so we
Thank you.
could
Thank
not
you.
have happened to a better guy.
It's weird, a completely different evening from what I was expecting. Start of the day, I was expecting to have my boys stopping round, but because my eldest has like broken his collarbone, my ex wanted to kind of look after him there. So I suddenly had no plans, on a Friday night. But all day I was sort of texting this girl that I matched with on Hinge on Sunday, and a lot of the day we were sort of. It's been getting very, very steamy.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And a lot of what you've been teaching and saying about, sort of leaning into the sensual side and also what you said about the no-fap stuff, I think it brought up the natural, like, yeah, I was in the mood, and it felt very good and it was like a very easy exchange. So she was going to go out with some friends last night. She did. Um, but we were texting up until she left. She was telling me about trying on dresses and stuff. And I said, "Oh, I wish I was there with you, like watching you try it on and stuff." And she was like, "Yeah, I wish you were here too. I wish I was out with you instead of them." And we had a date scheduled for Wednesday anyway. Anyway, she went out for some drinks, and I forgot about it, sort of thing. I ordered a big, horrible, like greasy takeaway, um, and just it was all scruffy and stuff. And then she messaged me saying, "Oh, it's just I don't know, something about seeing me," and I said, "Oh." I should come along and come and chat you up at the bar and pretend I don't know, pretend we're strangers. And she was like, "Oh, or you could come round and make sure I get home safe." And I was like, "Oh, you've got me thinking there." And wait a little while for her to respond. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, me too." And I said, "Well, in the interest of safety, let's make it happen." And she was like, How far away are you?" I was like, "Oh, about 45 minutes to an hour." And I was like, "Let's just do it." Like, I had this moment of like, at first, I was like, this is just flirtation. There's nothing in this. And then I was like, why isn't there? Like, remembering what you said about if you're sexting and stuff, and you need to be prepared to go and put your money where your mouth is.
Mm.
And so I was like, why not? Like, and she was very amenable. So I drove an hour to her house and came in. We had a hug. Um, we were just kind of doing the general, we had a wine and we were just general chit chat. And I thought from very early on, I was like, well, I guess in my head, I was like, well, I've got permission, I'm in her house. Like, I've got permission to escalate.
Mm.
And so from word go, I was like touching the back of her neck, giving her a shoulder rub, stroking her hair, that type of thing, and barely left my hand from her at all. And then at one point, like, I just sort of stopped her mid-sentence and went in for the kiss. And basically
Ooh,
from there, we didn't stop.
that's quite powerful and masculine there.
All right.
Excuse me. All right.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, pro me. And then, yeah, so within half an hour of getting there, we were up in the bedroom and
Oh.
things went from there. And we had a night of carnal fun.
Mm.
I was very nervous, like, I've got to say. Um, I've never had like performance issues before, but uh, I spent a lot of time like making sure she enjoyed herself. But then
Mm.
when it came to me being actively involved, I was a bit like, why am I not showing up? But it was just nerves, and I sort of settled into it. Probably wasn't absolute vintage, but I realized last night when I came back, it's actually been nearly 22 months, so nearly 2 years
Jeez.
I've had sex.
Two
So
years.
I think a bit of rustiness.
So 2023.
It was December, it was like early December 2023 or late
Mm.
November. And that was when things kind of really got sour with me and my ex. And a month or two later, we were broken up.
Oh, so you hadn't had sex since you split up with your ex? Right. Well,
So yeah, I was
mm,
really nervous and I was a bit rusty, but yeah, I think it was a good evening and it probably wasn't the best she's ever had. But it was considering we just met as well. It was good. It was good. It was a good experience. I don't necessarily know if she wants things to carry on. I don't think she does, but that's kind of okay. That's kind of that's kind of good with me, you know?
mm.
Um, so yeah, I came away feeling like, yeah, this has been real progress. So thank you. Obviously sent you a bit of a
I
message.
swear, when I got that message, right, I read it, I was like, oh my God, oh no. I was like, oh no. And then I start playing, and it's like, I had sex. I'm like, excuse me. I had to like re-listen. I was like, did I hear that right? And then here's the thing. So I was in bed when I got that message. And honestly, I wasn't in the best mood.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I have to start the day. I wasn't feeling great. When I got that message, I leapt out of bed. I was like, all right, now let's go and attack the day.
Yeah.
Like I've had a fat smile on my face all day. So here's what I want to say. Number one,
Thank you. Yeah.
you hear the phrase couldn't have happened to a better guy. Well, this could not have happened to a better
No,
guy.
thank you.
I'm really happy for you. That's number one. Number two, I've always said that, the only difference between the guys who get to where they want to be and the guys who don't is just are they prepared to walk through the fire to get there?
Mm,
And I've
yeah.
never had any doubts. And you're an incredibly likable guy,
Thank you. Thank you.
incredibly.
Yeah.
And I always knew that once you like get this little bit handled,
Mm.
you're gonna have all of the experiences that you want to have.
Yeah. She was really attractive,
Mm.
very sexy. Uh, it was it was a good experience and a very impressive woman as well. So, and your finger sounds so bad, sounds so crude. Your fingerprints were all over that interaction.
So
That's
basically, we
wrong.
double teamed her, is what you're saying.
In a manner of speaking.
Mm.
But yeah, it was the things that were kind of flowing from me and that were part of who I've become were things that you sort of sewn into me. So thank you very much. And um, I do feel like it's the beginning of something really. I feel like I needed to get through this hurdle, and I think a lot of like even just walking around today, like in public, going to the shops and stuff.
Yeah, the spring in your
But
step, did you?
yeah, yeah, well, I had that kind of, I looked at the attractive women, and I was like,
Mm.
take you. You know, and I flirted with a girl in the shop today and stuff like that. So it's I think it's about keeping up the momentum.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and so yeah, it's I can only thank you. And then this is there's gonna be a few more chapters, I'm sure.
For the benefit of anyone who's listening, so we had a very illuminating phone call the other day.
We did.
I kind of take some blame for this myself because essentially we've come to the realization that this thing with you looking at porn, which you have mentioned, but it just recently hit just actually how big of a deal it is in the sense of it killing your self-esteem and the way that you feel about yourself. But also on a more esoteric level, robbing you of that primal masculine energy that you need in order to make a woman feel like a woman and make her feel aroused and turned on and things like that.
Yeah, exactly that.
How's that realization been for you? That's number one. So we've agreed that no more pornography, no more ejaculations. And that the next time you see any white liquid exiting your penis, it's going to be because of actions committed with a woman.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
How's that been?
How's it been? It's it's an interesting one because I've heard a lot of stuff about, semen retention. I've heard a lot about like the damaging effects of porn on the psyche, on the, self-esteem, even not even just from a place of like insecurity as what you're seeing in terms of like guys with, whatever shaped sized penises, but more so like the fact that you're kind of hiding away and feels like a bit of a it feels like a loser sort of behavior for me. And so I guess um I've heard all that stuff before, but I guess I've just put it all into the back of my mind and just been like, well, whatever. Um, but I think there's definitely a direct correlation. And even like going back from my dating history, when I've had a period of not doing that, that's when I've attracted women. I can remember with my ex-wife, like I hadn't done that for like weeks, and everything just about the date flowed. And this was before I had your guidance, and um, it just felt a lot more natural to be like, to go for the kiss and to yeah, to it things just flowed a lot better. And I think within myself I felt better. So I think it is a massive realization. Like it's something that I've heard before, but sometimes things just crystallize. And then yeah, I think the difficult part is that I'm engaging with women on like dating apps. This week has been bonkers, Kieran. Like, I'd said before about your advice about my profile and how leaning into that sort of more sexual side would really work for me, and that's been no joke. Like it definitely has. This week has been insane. I'm getting like it feels like two or three like very attractive girls match like me. I don't even have to like them first. I've literally today decided because I've got like 20 open matches and stuff, and all are like a lot of them are responding. I've had to pause it, because it's just I can't meet all of them at the moment, and I don't want to just be pen pals for ages. But like with a couple of the girls, it's getting a bit more like saucy, and I'm probably doing better at like setting that sexual frame from word go. And like the one girl last night was sort of almost sort of sexting me, and yeah, so it's difficult to like only a couple of days of like starting this no fap stuff, but to be in a place where I'm basically sexting with a girl, which doesn't, it's not something that, it's not a common thing for me, let's just say. I was like, flipping heck, this is like, it's almost like it's come up to challenge me from word go. But maybe because I'm in that place where I'm not wanting to do that and not wanting to just go to porn, that's when I'm opening up to more of a sexual vibe with a woman.
That's exactly it. So there's a couple things I want to say. First thing I want to say about the sexting is it's great that you're doing it. And I'm really happy because this shows that you're starting to engage with women in a new way.
Yeah,
What I will say is just be advised that you go too sexual with a woman too early and she will likely get scared off and choose to not meet you. So
yeah,
be as sexual as you want and have fun, but just realize that you start like heavily sexting some woman, she's likely to think this man only wants one thing and then not choose to turn up on a date. If you're gonna like heavily sext a woman, you basically need to meet her that day. Like if you're gonna be sexting, it's got to be like, what are you doing right now? I'm coming over to your place right now. So you can capitalize on it while she's still in the mood. If
yeah,
you
that's
let
good.
that dwindle down, then reality starts to set in and, oh, I don't know who this man is. I don't know his intentions.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but still, it is great that you're doing it though. It is.
I mean, yeah, I will say that it came about last night where she said, "What would you do if you had me to yourself for 24 hours? Like lay out the day." And I was like, "Wow." So I used the chance to kind of say about, we're going to go here, go on the beach, and blah 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 blah. Very sensual, evocative kind of stuff, with a little bit of like fun activities woven in. And then I was like, well, at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen. But I stopped off before any kind of sex happened. So I got into kind of the foreplay zone.
Mm.
And I basically said, the rest, you're going to have to find out, basically, like just teaser. But it was very much like, there was a lot of implication rather than like graphic, direct kind of.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Is that the right lines?
No, it is.
But
Yeah,
then,
you start off by implying, definitely,
but
100%.
there's one question that's come out of that, Kieran, that I think makes me feel um, a bit less comfortable. She sort of sent me a selfie. It wasn't sexual and anything. It was just like her looking pretty on the bed, basically. It wasn't, no body parts or anything like that. Um, And then I felt like, oh crap, I need to send a selfie back. But I just had a workout. I hadn't grew like I've not groomed in the last couple of days because like my son's just had a bad injury, so I'm just playing doctor, and I just wasn't in the place to send a picture that was gonna make me look good. How would you, if you're not in that place, what would you do? Would you just
Well,
duck it?
okay, so firstly, there was no obligation for you to send a selfie unless she actually asked for one. That's
No.
number one. That's number one. Honestly, her sending you that selfie of herself and you not sending her one back isn't a terrible thing at all. That's number one. Number two, the male equivalent of her sending you the selfie isn't you sending her another selfie. It's actually more you doing something like sending a voice note or an erotic message. Because you're a man, you're visually turned on. So you see that you go, oh wow, she looks hot, she looks pretty. Women don't really care to the same degree that we do. If you wanted to achieve the same effect, you would record a 30-second, 45-second voice note in your sexiest possible voice, talking about, alluding to something sensual.
Yeah, which I'd
Yeah.
already done.
Well, it'd be something like that anyway.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
I'd already done that. So her selfie was like reciprocation, I suppose. Um, yeah. I ended up I did send quite a bad selfie. It wasn't awful. It wasn't great. It was like, yeah, it wasn't good. It was just one of those like I just felt, and I did, yeah, I don't know,
We got to talk about this though, because you keep telling me about things that you do which you know you shouldn't do.
a mess up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Look, here's something you gotta remember, which is that when a woman doesn't know you and she's getting to know you, she is literally looking for an excuse to bin you.
True.
Looking for it
Mm.
consciously. Think about it. We choose the bear. Why do they choose the bear? Because they can't trust men. Now, granted, that's an extreme fringe of women who are like, I would rather be with a bear than a man. But it still highlights a truth, which is that they tend to not trust men. And they're on the lookout, they're on their guard for what's wrong. Bearing in mind, you're not the only man that's in their inbox as well. So they're trying to like kind of filter through as quickly as possible. She's looking for an excuse, right? So
True.
you send something, if you go, this is a shit image of me, let me send that to her. You got to realize that that shit image, when you send, when she doesn't know you, you are, in her eyes, you are as good or as virtuous or as worthwhile or as funny as the last thing you've done.
Yeah.
But that's it. So she doesn't know you. You say a funny joke, you're now funny. But if you
Mm.
send a shit picture of yourself, you are a shit, you're shit.
Yeah, true. I think
Don't
what was
do
going,
anything that you know is not good though. If you know it's not good,
yeah.
don't do it.
So what was going through my head? We had this conversation a little bit about my last date last Friday,
Mm.
about I said a few things that I shouldn't have said, which I guess we can go into. But what was going through my head last night was she's wanting me to send a picture for me to show that I'm real, basically, that I'm not.
Well,
Um,
send a good picture.
yeah,
Send a good picture. Keep
yeah,
taking photos until you get a good one.
yeah, yeah. She doesn't have to know that it was not
She doesn't
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
Send an older one. Send one you took last week.
Shit at taking photos. I can't take selfies very well. It's just not something that's in my brain or skill set. I'm getting better, but it's yeah, not. I'm better if someone else has taken a photo of me, like a lot of people.
Fine.
So
But just keep doing it until you get a good one.
yeah,
Look, I don't know if you've ever looked in many women's phones. So, like I said, like my girlfriend, you look in
yeah,
her phone, right? And you see, like, when she takes pictures of herself, she takes like 45 variations of the same picture. And like the best one is the one that goes onto Instagram. And they all
yeah, it's
do
true.
it. They all do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
You go into any woman's phone and go through the photo galleries, thousands of minor variations. Do the same thing. If you need to send her a photo, for the love of God, Mark, right? Send her a good one.
Yeah.
Don't send her some crappy photo to have her then write you off.
See, this is the pattern, right? It's the desire to be truthful rather than attractive. It's
Well,
this kind of thing
it
about,
is you.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is you. We're
True,
not photoshopping it.
true. But I think it's that thing of like we said about the date last week that um so basically for the for the viewers, I I'm practicing in the dates to be more expressive, to be more fun, to be more free, dare I say more sexual. Um, and a lot of that's coming with my words. And so I'm taking off a lot of filters. But the downside behind that is sometimes I'm losing the control when it comes to saying stuff that doesn't serve me. So for instance, last week I told the girl that I live with my parents. Um, the girl didn't know that I had kids, and it was just a casual thing, possibly anyway. She doesn't have kids. I mentioned that I have kids quite early on. Um, and I mentioned stuff to do with my faith and my job, um, which ultimately I think that put her off a little bit as well because she's got a bit of a perception of Christians.
Mm.
So those three bits of information that potentially put her off that I didn't probably need to share. But in my head, I was like, well, I've got to be authentic. Um, but yeah, it's like shooting
So
myself in the foot.
why didn't you tell her about all the porn you watch then? No, you got to be authentic, right?
That's a very good
And
point.
the specific brand and genre of porn that you're into as well.
I mean,
You
that's a
know, what
that's a very
the
good point.
niche. When you tell her that, we got to be authentic, right?
Touche.
You know what
Touche.
I mean?
Yeah. I think there's certain like biographical information, like in terms of like logistics, the fact that I live with my parents is quite a big one at the moment that I can't really get past. And eventually they will find out, like if they, it's like, oh, we can't come to my place. No, let's go to yours. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like it will come up at some point, but then I guess on the first date or whatever, before kind of, it's something that doesn't have to come up as soon as I probably think it does.
No woman you meet is going to assume you're living with your parents anyway. They're all just
No.
going to assume that you just, have your own apartment, your own home, this, that, and the other. And you don't need to say it until it needs to come up. But when you say it, I'm not saying that you should lie, but have a good caveat as well. So for instance, I do a lot of traveling, but you're aware of my dad's dementia. I think most people are. So when I'm in the UK now, I'm with my parents. Now, I'm currently in my girlfriend's apartment right now. But when we first met, I mean, I definitely did. I can't even really remember saying it because I say it to lots of people. But the point is, I definitely made a point of letting her know that it was because of my dad's dementia. I definitely
Yeah.
threw that in because, in all honesty, it flipped it. Now it's like I'm not a loser who is living with his parents. I'm a guy who owns his own apartment, but is actually a loving son. And because his father has dementia, he's actually helping out in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
And
So
I've
if
got
you
a
have to say
reasonable
it,
excuse.
mm,
I've got a reasonable excuse in the sense that, I do have a house and
there
it's
you
been on the
go.
market it's been on the market for a year and it's not selling.
Well, there you go.
Um, so it's that, it's not like I've chosen just to go in with my folks. It's just
There you go.
I've got
And
equity
but I wouldn't
waiting.
even say it's not selling. Just say you're waiting to sell your house.
Or yeah, or it's just in progress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd have
no.
to frame it negatively.
No, no, that's
Mm.
true. And then just move on.
Yeah.
And there is something about like what if you're insecure about something, the woman will pick up on that. Whereas if I just own it and be like, yeah, and then just move on and not make it into a big deal, then it won't have that jarring effect as maybe.
Oh, this is it.
But yeah, I won't proactively bring it up. It's just one thing that
Mm.
yeah, I think that's right. I think yeah, it's still get my mindset from the place that I have to be completely transparent.
They don't want you to be like they want some mystery.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah.
This is it. Like complete transparency is actually unsexy.
Yeah, and boring.
Mystery, yeah, it is mystery.
Mm.
So she wants to figure you out. She wants to feel like you're an enigma. She can't quite figure out. But as you get to know her and as you decide that she is worthy of being let into your inner circle, you then start to reveal more and more things to her.
Yeah.
So your time and your energy and a place in your circle is actually worthy.
Mm,
They would prefer that.
yeah.
Yeah. They don't want it
Mm,
all given to them. I was having this conversation with my girlfriend yesterday where she said, men are easy. And she was talking about how men coming up to her and just saying the same thing, and it's boring and it's easy. And you know why? Because she's very hot, and men just roll out the red carpet. Like they roll it out. Literally, like they got it all rolled up and then they kick it, right? And it just kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's that's what they do.
It's true.
It's really unsatisfying. What is
Mm,
satisfying is when a man is like, yeah, you're interesting, but I'm not completely sold.
mm.
Yeah, you're cool, but my life's great. And to get into this, you got to prove yourself as being worthy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. Anyway,
Yeah.
something I wanted to say though about the semen retention thing as well. When you've ejaculated, so you sit and you watch porn or you have sex, your body has no desire to go out and actually do anything to make sex happen.
No.
Zero, because you've gotten the reward. You've actually been successful. When you are holding it all in, your sexual energy is increasing, but also the drive to actually release this energy is actually increasing as well. And that drive to
Mm,
release the energy is what has made you more confident with women in the times that you felt like you've been abstaining and
yeah.
will make women automatically more attracted.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
it. And like I said this over the phone, but it really does bear saying again, is one of the issues that we've had in the time we've been working together is you holding back your sexual energy.
Yeah.
But something I only recently realized is you're doing it in two ways. You've been doing it through your beliefs, and then you've also been doing it through constantly spraying your seed.
Yeah. It's true.
It'd be so much more difficult for you to withhold your sexual energy if it was actually bubbling away inside you. That'd
Yeah.
be so much. So everything that we're speaking about will just come so much more naturally.
Mm,
You'll be looking at women differently.
yeah, yeah.
Because
I
again, like
think,
if you can't go home, if you know that you can't go home and look at bangbros.com or whatever, or God knows what kind of debauchery you look at. We don't need to know. But you're on your website of choice. If you
mm,
can go home and you can just know that you can do that, it doesn't really matter what happens with the girl. Because deep down in the back of your mind, well, there's all sorts of nines and tens online that aren't going to reject me. So I can
yeah.
just get with them. But you remove that and it's like, focused
Yeah.
onto you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to you said about identifying the triggers and identifying putting in the blockers to prevent that. So I'm gonna really take that seriously. I think I'm looking at maybe setting up that software that sort of stops, that cuts it out. Um, so yeah, I need to put the safeguards in place, sort of thing.
Well,
I
here's
think
one. I don't
yeah,
know. I mean, where do you normally look at porn?
in bed, end of the day,
Sorry. And on what device?
laptop.
All right. So how about we have a rule where your laptop is just never in your bedroom?
That's a good point. That's a good
Mm.
thing.
Your laptop doesn't make it into your bedroom.
Yeah, yeah,
Your laptop, like whatever the furthest point is in your home from your bedroom, that's where the laptop stays.
yeah. Why not? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I think to reiterate what you're saying, or to add more detail for people watching is, I'd said to you that I felt that I was going on these dates, and it was like a natural. It was almost like something in the energy straight away. It was like a repelling thing, and I think some of that is has been the porn stuff because like looks wise, I get women checking me out. I do very well on the apps, I can get people out on dates quite a lot. could probably have four or five at the moment. I could have four or five a week if I wanted to, or if I had the schedule to. And then where I'm hitting the wall, I'm hitting the wall on the dates. And I look at it and I'm doing a lot of things right, like conversationally and things like that. Yes, the escalation's not been there, but I actually think like there hasn't been that. There's been almost like an aversion from word go, and it's been very energetic, and I've been trying to work it out. And I genuinely think this could be like the hidden puzzle because I guess number one, I'm carrying like a negative, like a bit of a guilt thing deep down because of indulging in porn. And secondly, I think your visualization stuff that you've really pressed from me from word go. After I've just done that in an evening, I don't want to positively visualize because I've been negatively visualized. Like it's like a weird ritual, isn't it? Porn. You don't get yourself into a positive place. And then I just want to go to sleep and just, like hide away. I don't want to be like having positive visualizations. I just want to like hide and feel, same as like I don't pray or anything or I don't meditate after doing that because I just want to kind of like hide away and go to sleep, because I know deep down it's not good for me. So I think like all the stuff that you had as the foundation blocks of this whole mentoring has been the positive mindsets and the positive visualization and affirmations. And you also said about doing that before sleep when the brain waves are more receptive. I've been programming myself with porn. I've not been programming myself with that stuff. And where I've done it has been so inconsistent because of that, the porn's got in the way. So I think this will change my conception of my identity as well. I think so. It's a really big. A lot of realizations have come this week as a result of us going down that route of what you've suggested, and the dots are connecting, and it all makes sense as to why this is like really messing me about.
Well, all right, something I want to say again is I have literally zero doubts about all of this. None. If I had any doubts, I wouldn't have done this publicly so we can actually track this week to week to week. And
Yeah,
if I'd been having doubts in the past couple of weeks, I would have maybe suggested that we quietly end it or something like this.
yeah,
But we're not doing that. I've got zero freaking doubts. I know for a fact you're going to get to where you want to be, and it's going to happen a lot sooner than you think as well. Where the porn is concerned, so the way I'm kind of looking at it is because like you wouldn't be my first client who's looked at lots of porn.
yeah,
I'm sure most people have really. But where you differ to most of my clients is you've got the religious side as well. So
yeah,
there's kind of like two elements. There's the religious conditioning in addition to, let's say, the effects of the porn. There are two things that we're trying to solve. There's you going out and doing what you need to do, and then there's the effect that porn has, which is like holding you back and holding you down.
yeah,
But I don't think that porn is like the single solitary solution, but I think it's going to have an absolutely gigantic impact.
yeah. I
Gigantic.
think it's more of a like a more of a gap in congruence. I think
Mm.
in the sense that I I think expressing myself sexually with a woman is fine. Right? I think I've got my head right about that. But I think deep down, like the porn stuff is just I'm going against so much of what it just I just feel like a loser doing it. Do you know what I mean? Because essentially, like when you watch porn, you kind of cook in yourself, right? You're in that very passive place. And I spend a lot of time on it as well. Like it's not like I can just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's like I've got to find the exact right clip. And do you know what I mean? It ends up being taking like 2 or 3 hours and just saying, and then
Because you
you
can't
find that
come to any
sleeping
old rubbish, right? It has to be perfect.
exactly, and then it's like it's the thrill of the chase as well. And then it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you should have gone to sleep 2 or 3 hours ago. You should have done a workout. You should have done X, Y, Z, visualization, meditation, prayer, whatever. And those things I haven't done, and my overall like sweet sleep quality is not as good because I've spent hours like doing that. So it's a bigger issue for me, probably because of the way I'm, yes, my faith and the disconnect of my identity in that. And also the fact that it's like really depleting a lot of like aspects of my life.
You said that you could have 4 or 5 dates a week if you had the schedule for it. How
Yeah.
many do you have the schedule for right now?
I would say probably two, maybe three at most, if I'm being like clever about it. So like next week, I've got one day on a lunch break at work, so I can just go out just outside my office and meet someone there, which is cool. Yeah, not the best dates. I prefer evening dates.
Yeah, if
Um,
I were you, I would try and meet her in the evening because what's likely to happen is you both on your lunch break and she's got other things going on, you've got other things going on, and there's not a
mm,
particularly sexy vibe because it's a quick lunch break. But in her
true.
mind, she's not going to take that into account. She'll just remember the fact that she met Mark and didn't feel turned on. But the guy she met on Friday night, she did feel turned on. And
True.
yeah,
I think with this one next week, I'm not as she's one woman that I match with that I'm not as enthusiastic on. She seems a nice person, but I probably don't. In some ways, I see it as a little bit of a practice. A chance just to, and plus, she would be on my like 20 matches, she'd be kind of down the bottom. But I've got the chance to meet with her logistics wise, so I can have 3 dates next week rather than two.
okay.
But I
So
think, mm,
push it as far as you can.
yeah,
Okay.
hmm
Touching, kissing, go for it.
yeah. Um, and the other thing I was going to ask, connected with this, so I've got limited capacity because of having kids and stuff like that. But what would you say when you were doing like lots of the online dating
Mm.
and you were getting loads and loads of matches? Did you ever have to sort of tether it? Was there only so much you could do at once, or did you just basically match with everyone and then just manage it accordingly, or
I
what?
mean,
What?
I just matched with whoever I wanted to match with. I never matched with everyone, but I always matched with the ones that I was into.
Yeah,
And then just I just dated them whenever I could, really.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't know. So it seems like you've got this idea where it's like if there's a woman that you've matched with and you have the potential to date her, then you have to date her. It seems like you're
Well,
thinking in
yeah,
that
and maybe
sense.
move things along quickly and keep up continuous contact, I suppose. Otherwise, they might unmatch me, or they'll think I'm, a pussy for not moving things forward and taking the lead. Um, Whereas probably what I'd like to do is maybe match with a few of them and keep them on ice, and when I'm around to potentially prioritize the ones that I'm really into, and maybe, do you know what I mean? But I probably can't. I don't think that's the best
I
strategic
mean,
approach.
okay, here's what I say. I mean, I get what you're saying about matching them and then not talking, and then as a result, maybe they lose interest, but you don't have to match them until you're ready. So, like my hinge, I would just have tons of likes, and these are women who've liked my profile, and I'd periodically go through my likes and then just start matching with my old likes. But you don't have to match with everybody the moment they actually come through.
On the free version now, it's tethered so that you can only see one at a time.
Mm.
So, and I can't be asked to pay 25 quid a month or whatever. Um, I don't really need to because I can use the free one. So, I mean, maybe I could do that, but and then just match with them in time or whatever. But yeah, at the moment, I've just paused my profile because there's a capacity of like, and I'm messaging like, 10, 15, 20 women. There's only so much that I can kind of do that, right? With a busy schedule. Otherwise, I'm kind of watering myself down for, I don't know. I don't know how many women you would be talking to on the messages, like for at one time, whether there's a point where it's just like,
Okay, what I'm realizing is you're thinking from lack mentality. So
yeah,
you're worried about losing you're not necessarily worried about losing specific women, but you're worried about losing out. As in, you've got a bunch, you're like a squirrel with a bunch of acorns, but you're worried that you're gonna lose your acorns. But the thing is,
Yeah.
there's more acorns coming all the time. So,
There is.
the level we've got your profile to now, you have a very attractive profile. And right now, your worry is actually being able to date all of these women who are interested. So you don't
It's a
need
high
to,
quality problem.
it's not even a problem, is the point I'm trying to
Yeah.
make,
Mm.
because there's always going to be new women to replace other women. And the ones who you focus on are the ones that you're the most interested in, right? That I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I did. So when I was getting my matches, someone who I looked at and I was like, whoa, I mean, clearly I'm messaging her. Right. So if I'm not messaging you or some woman, if I'm not messaging her, she ain't that important to me.
Mm.
And then if she drops off, well, guess what? There's more. There's always more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not something you need to worry about.
No. So only focus on if some go cold because I just can't be bothered at one time or get better matches that I'm more interested in. It's okay to kind of let them go cold and then pick them back up down the line maybe or
I mean, I guess, but what I'm
whatever.
trying to say is the one yours talking about not speaking to women and then they go cold. But the reason why you didn't talk to them was because you weren't that interested anyway.
True.
That's the point
True.
I'm making. You didn't
True.
actually care, which is why they've gone cold.
True.
They weren't your top choices. If they
Mm.
were, you would have been messaging them.
I'm just not used to this amount of attractive women that I'm communicating with at once. So
Yeah. Well,
it's
well,
it's
like
good
I, I
time.
I said, your reality is going to change. Here we are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just need to get through the dates hurdle, but that's coming.
I am going to make a bold prediction. You're
Hmm.
going to have sex in the next 6 weeks. That is a prediction I'm making right here.
Spoiler.
Huh?
That's not a prediction, that's a spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. There we go. It's a spoiler. You're damn right. It's
Spoiler
a
alert.
spoiler. Yeah, spoiler alert. It will happen within the next 6 weeks, provided,
Mm.
provided you actually keep up with the semen retention. If you
Yeah.
do, if you do, yeah, within the next
Yeah.
6 weeks, you're gonna get your end away,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
as they
From
say.
there, it all flows.
Yeah.
More will follow.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But
Hallelujah.
yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
No, just thanks again. You're the man. I really appreciate it. And yeah, for those who are watching, who are thinking about doing mentoring with Kieran, the guy's a genius. He's savant. So don't hesitate.
Okay.
He didn't tell me to say that. I'm probably
No,
making
I
him.
certainly didn't, but my brain was like, oh, I need to clip that now. I need to clip that for social media. That was good. But yeah, thank you, thank you. Look, I appreciate you as well. I really do.
That's one,
And
mate.
look, there's only two guys in all of this. I've said this before, but there's the guys who get what they want, and there's the guys who don't. But
Mm,
of the thing that separates them, it's not anything intrinsic. It's not like how handsome he is or witty he is or anything like this. It's just,
mm,
does he actually walk through the fire? That's it. So
yeah,
you've been bashing your head against a brick wall. Like I've been speaking to you about sexual energy and things for a couple of months now.
yeah,
But
yeah.
because of your past beliefs, it didn't quite register, right? But you constantly kept trying. And the thing is, your brain was doing everything it could do to get the change to change its situation without changing itself.
Yeah.
But the more your brain kept trying that and failing, at some point it had to go, oh, hold on.
Mm,
It's this thing that Kieran's always talking about. But that
yeah,
always meant you failing to get there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you could never actually you can never fail long term because that's how we learn. It's like you just keep trying,
Mm,
you fail, 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 fail. We're
yeah,
always eventually going to get there. And it's a
yeah.
testament to you as well, because do you know how many men would have run off by now?
Mm,
You've had
yeah,
the balls to document this publicly, right?
mm,
This is ballsy for you, number one.
yeah.
It really is.
Mm,
Uh, It That's not an easy thing to do. And you're
Mm.
constantly trying new things and you're constantly going on these dates and having it not work. And I tell you something like, oh, that doesn't that doesn't sit well with what's in my heart or that, but let me just try it anyway. You know, like you're
Yeah.
gonna get there. Zero that's.
Yeah, man.
But kudos to you, seriously.
Thank you. And you.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries.
Enjoy it. Thanks,
But
man.
yeah, yeah, so see you later. Bye
See you later. Take
bye.
care.